Indian philosophy, philosophy in general is not meant for giving information. It is not meant for generating any knowledge. Philosophy is not meant for seeking information or gaining knowledge. So that will be a very baffling response from my side. And some of you may be puzzled that if we are not going to gain any knowledge, if we don't get any information, what is good of this subject? Why we say this, you will very soon realize. And it is not the case that we will not have information or we will not have knowledge at all. I am talking about the ultimate objective of a philosophy course. The ultimate objective is not to impart knowledge or information. So you will be given information, you will be given knowledge, and that is not the end. That is not the end about this course. We are going to use that information, that knowledge, which we will get from different sources, in order to develop some understanding. That is the most important, valuable thing in philosophy. In other disciplines, you stop there. The moment you gather adequate information, the moment you generate some kind of knowledge, and you think that the matter is over. And if you stop there, in fact, then of course you can do things in certain ways. But when there is any special requirement and when there is a difficult situation arises, then you may be wondering what could be the way out. So by going through a philosophy course, a student is required to generate that kind of competence to deal with very difficult kind of situations, unprecedented kind of situations. And we must prepare ourselves for that situation, because our life is so demanding that we don't know what time, at what moment we will be asked to do something for which we cannot get any guideline. There may not be any specific rule. There may not be any guru or guide who can take away from that difficult situation. So by understanding, you prepare yourself for such kind of situations which are highly demanding. And of course, you can do fairly good if you just seek information, if you get some knowledge, you can do certain things in certain ways. But of course, that is a kind of very, what we call crowd mentality. And philosophy stands out from other disciplines in this very sense that the ultimate objective is to generate understanding inside you. So in Indian philosophy, we are going to consider the insights, the viewpoints which are available, which are given by the Indian scholars, the Indian seers, the Indian thinkers. That is the objective. Now you will say that they were almost 2000 years before our time. Normally we consider that different philosophical systems in India developed in some 4th century or 6th century BC. That is a very, very tentative observation regarding the historical fact of Indian philosophy. But we are not going to get into that kind of debate which is related to history. Our concern is that why we should take up the study of the viewpoints which were given thousands of years before, and what would be the use of such things in our time, in the modern time. So the answer to this question is that we study the viewpoints of our ancestors, of our ancient thinkers, for 2 reasons. Number one is that the philosophical problems are perennial problems. And I hope you are taking note of when I say this is number 1, number 2. So you should always have your notebook and pen in your hand. When I raise a question, you need to write that question. And when I say that the answer to this question or the response to this question could be in this way, 1, 2, or points I mentioned, So you keep on noting these facts. You need not note each and everything, but when I say it is a point, it is a question, so you must be aware and you must be careful to document it in your notebook. So why should we study the ideas or the philosophies which were developed 1,000 years before? We are entirely in a new situation. There is a lot more difference in lifestyle. There is a lot more difference in material conditions. And we are living in an entirely different universe than our ancestors. So what would be use of those ideas? Aren't they obsolete now, or they are outdated? Generally, those who don't know what is in Indian philosophy, it is their curiosity. It is their, in fact, observation that why we should go through all these old stuff. हम तो मॉडर्न हैं, हम तो आज के, हमको ये सब क्यों देखना है? And this is the same attitude. We in fact argue with our parents that आपका समय दूसरा था, अब समय बदल गया है, आपकी बातें अभी नहीं चलेंगी. So the response which I am offering for your consideration is that philosophical problems are perennial problems, which means every stage of humanity has to struggle with these issues which are core issues of philosophy. The philosophical problems started with the very appearance of human beings, and they will continue till human beings are continuing. So the questions which baffle our mind related to our own existence, related to the things which are surrounding us, they are not the questions of ancestors. Even today, we are struggling with those questions. And the other day, I mentioned that we have to encounter these questions at different stages of our life.